Okay, we're going to be looking at area and perimeter review number 16 through 21, which are variable side lengths where either I give you X or you need X. Okay, and so the first three that you see here, I give you X, and I ask you either for area or perimeter of one of these above. And then the other ones, I give you the area or perimeter, and I ask you to find me X. So they're kind of opposite from each other. Okay, so we're starting with number 16, and number 16 says, given X is 3, what is the area of the square above? So this very first figure is the square. Okay, so, and let's see again, 16. Looking at this figure right here where both sides are going to be X plus 7. Remember, that's what these tick marks mean. And we are given X is 3. I don't know why I wrote E. Given X is 3. Then what is the area of the square? Okay, so let's rewrite the square where X is 3. So when X is 3, then this side right here would be 3 plus 7, which is 10. And this side right here would be 3 plus 7, which is 10. And then if I want to find the area of a square, that's just base times height or side squared. You'll get the same answer, right? Which is 10 times 10 or 100. Good. Okay. Number 17 says, given X is 1, what is the perimeter of the triangle? So we have a triangle. And we want perimeter, so I'm not even going to bother with the height there because perimeter doesn't have anything to do with the height of the triangle. It's just the sum of the sides. And we're told X is 1. So again, let's make a new figure. This time the triangle when X is 1. X is 1 doesn't change the length of these sides. They're 10. That's why they're called constants. But it does change this. This is going to be 6 times 1, which is now just 6. And if I want to find the perimeter, I'm just going to add all three sides, which is just going to be 10 plus 6, which is 26. Okay. Number 18 says, given X is 2, what is the area of the trapezoid above? So I'm just going to quickly sketch the trapezoid. All right, the trapezoid's top base is X plus 1, bottom base is 2X plus 4, side length is 2, height is 10. That's kind of crazy. This is not possible because this obviously cannot be shorter than this. And so we're given X is 2 in this problem. And so let's make a new figure where X is 2. So this would be 2 plus 1, which is 3. This bottom one would be 2 plus 2 plus 4. So 4 plus 4 is 8. And the height is a constant and the side length is constant. And it wants to know what's the area of this trapezoid. Well, the side length isn't important when we're talking area, so let's just get rid of that. And the area of a trapezoid is base 1 plus base 2 times the height divided by 2. Sum of the bases times the height divided by 2. So we would first add 8 plus 3, and we would get 11. And then we would do 11 times 10 and get 110. And then divide by 2, and we would get 55. And because I just did that in my head, I just kind of want to quickly confirm. When you are doing this in proper order of operations, the easiest way to do it is to do 8 plus 3 and hit enter. And then say times 10, because that's just going to pull down your previous answer and hit enter. and then divide by 2. See, every single time it's just using the previous answer, and that helps me with my order of operations. Okay? Number 19 says, solve for x, so this time we don't know x, if you know the perimeter of the parallelogram above is 22. All right, so let me just write down, let me see here, 19, a picture of the perimeter, a parallelogram. So we have 3x plus 2 minus 2 in the top of it, and x plus 5 on the side, and your height is 5. And for the perimeter of this parallelogram, we don't actually need the height, so I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to write 3x minus 2 and x plus 5 because opposite sides have to be equal to each other. Okay? And this time, I can't just write a new figure because I don't know x. Right? So this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I want to know what is x when the perimeter is 22. So I need an equation for perimeter, and then I can set that equal to 22, right? So I need to know what's the perimeter of this. Well, to find the perimeter of this figure, I need to add up all the sides. So I'm going to combine 3x minus 2, 3x minus 2, x plus 5, and x plus 5. And I sometimes will do this horizontally, but for space sake on my video, I'm just going to stack it like this. So 3, 6, 7, 8, x, and then negative 2 and negative 2 make negative 4. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1, and then 1 plus 5 is 6. Okay, so this right here is the sum of the sides, or the perimeter of my figure. And then I just need to solve this equation. So I'm going to subtract 6 from both sides across the equal sign, keeping it nice and balanced. That gives me 8x is equal to 22 minus 6, which is 16. And then I can divide both sides by 8. And say, okay, well, x is 2. And I can check my work. In this case, if I wanted to write a new picture to check my work where x is 2, then this would be 3 times 2 minus 2, or 6 minus 2, which is 4, which would make this 4. And then this would be 2 plus 5, which would be 7 and 7. So obviously not drawn to scale. But then I could just add 7 plus 7 plus 4 plus 4, which is 14, 18, 22, which is exactly what I wanted for this problem. So this is just my check right here. All right. Number 20 is going to be similar to that. Let's pull this over here. Number 20 says, solve for x if you know the perimeter of the square above is 32. Solve for x if you know the perimeter of the square above is 32. So, number 20, let's write the square, or draw the square. Again, I don't know x this time. But what I do know is that the perimeter is 32. So I need an equation for the perimeter, and then I can set that equal to 32. Okay? So if I look over here, basically all 4 sides are x plus 7. So I'm just doing x plus 7, plus x plus 7, plus x plus 7, plus x plus 7, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 x's. Or 7, 14, 21, 28. All right, so this would be my perimeter. Another option, which is hopefully what your algebra teacher taught you is instead of having to add them 4 times, I could multiply 4 times x plus 7, and that's where distributive property comes into play, because now I can say, oh, that's easy. I've got 4 x's and I've got 4 7s, and it's a little easier to see that. Okay, and then I just need to solve this. So I'm going to subtract 28 from each side. And I'm going to get 4x on the left side of the equal sign. And I'm going to get 4 on the right side of the equal sign. And then I'm going to divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 is 1. So let's need just x. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And there we go. And again, I can check my work. Okay. So I'm just going to draw a new square where x is 1. So that would be 1 plus 7, which is 8, and 1 plus 7, which is 8. And remember, this is a square, so that means all 4 sides would be 8. And so 8 plus 8 plus 8 plus 8 is 32, or another way to think about that is 4 times 8, because they're all the same, would be 32, which is exactly what the problem wanted. All right, just one more from this section. It says solve for x if you know the area of the triangle is 36. Solve for x if you know the area of the triangle is 36. All right, so let me flip my paper over here. We're looking at number 21. I'm using the triangle this time. And we're going to do area, so that means I do need the height of the triangle is 2. I don't need the side lengths because they don't really have anything to do with area. And this is x. And the problem says you know the area is 36. So I need an equation for area. And then I can take that equation and set it equal to 36. Well, the area of a triangle is base times height divided by 2. Base times height divided by 2. So that means for this particular triangle, my base is 6x and my height is 2. So if I do 6 times 2, then I end up with 12x divided by 2. And 12x divided by 2 is 6x. So I come over here and I say, okay, well, area of this drawing is 6x. And then I just need to solve this equation, which is actually super easy because I can just divide both sides by 6. And 36 divided by 6 is 6. And again, I can check my work. Right? I can say, all right, let's draw a new triangle when x is 6. Height is still 2. But now my base is 6 times 6, or 36. So my area would be base times height divided by 2. And actually, I can just do this and say, oh, well, look, area is 36, which is exactly what's given to me in the problem. So this is a great way to check your work to make sure you actually did the right thing. Okay? And that is it for 16 through 21. I hope that helped.